interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you some breaking news. There's been reports all over the area of something crazy going on, something big. People's homes, their minds even, are being taken over by something called, what is it they're calling it? They're calling it Bad Movie Debate.
Alright, nerds, we got some serious shit to get into tonight. We unfortunately are not doing a debate just yet. It'll be coming next week or the week after. We will be doing a nice Christmassy type one. No idea what movie just yet, but I do know who my guest will be. To be revealed, you know. I ain't telling y'all shit until it's time. But today, instead, we are going to do something special and something new. So I've done, the debates. Obviously, that's the whole fucking point of the podcast. It's in the title of the podcast. But I've also done some reviews with my expert opinions on some stuff that's come out thus far this year. It's the end of the year, but thus far since I've been doing this at the very least. And I've done the Council of Cinema Spooky Season edition, which amazing title for a series of episodes. I'm so fucking smart. And I'm so fucking funny. I never stop impressing myself, but I digress. Anyway, so this is going to be another series kind of stuff that I'm going to do every once in a while. I'm going to do like analysis stuff, which isn't the same as review. Whatever. I'm calling it analysis episodes. So here we are. Corporate greenlit it. I'm allowed to call it that. So that's what I'm going to call it. So for this first one, we're going to get into something serious. Very, very, very serious. This debate has been going on for millennia, perhaps, or at least since 1993. Is The Nightmare Before Christmas a better watch during Halloween time or Christmas time? When is it more appropriate? Spooky season or the quote-unquote most wonderful time of the year? Both of those are completely wrong. They're both completely wrong. The best time to watch it is right in the middle of the two, when you have that 2 weeks where things aren't so spooky, but there's still dead leaves everywhere, and pumpkins are still around, but they're not the main feature. There's other gourds and stuff, but, pumpkins are just kind of around now. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Gobble gobble, fucking Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is the best time to watch The Nightmare Before Christmas. Hands down. Thank you for listening. That's it. I don't have anything else to say. Just kidding. I have a couple of points in my brain lined up, and I don't know if somebody else has said this before me. Maybe they have. I didn't do any research before I sat down to do this. I just was like, I need a filler episode, and this is what I came up with. It seems appropriate as we're getting into the Christmas time and everything. So here we are. So if somebody has thought of this before, congratulations. You're a genius, just as I'm a genius. But I don't think I've ever seen anybody else say that. So here we are. And if somebody else has said it before me, well, you can use this, in my opinion, to back up your original argument. Or maybe we're going to say the same thing. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Point is, Thanksgiving is the best time to watch this fucking movie. I have a few reasons why. First of all, the little bit of research I did do was just to see when it came out. So it came out in theaters October 13th, 1993. That was a limited release, which would be perfect to make it a Halloween movie, right? Halloween-centric movie. But it did not get its full United States wide release, as they call it, until October 29th, 1993. So October 29th that's only a couple days before Halloween. And I mean, I wasn't alive in 1993, but I mean, I don't know. Again, I haven't done any research, but like, I don't think everybody who saw this movie the year it came out saw it the day it came out so they could see it before Halloween, right? Like, I mean, my family likes to go see movies during Thanksgiving and Christmas time because we're all home. You know, my sister and I both live in different cities that aren't the original city we live in. We grew up in, rather. So, you know, it's the best time for us to go. And I'm sure there's lots of families who are like that. So I don't see people clamoring to get there just in time for Halloween, right? So most people were probably seeing this with their families during the build up to and just after Thanksgiving. So boom. That's step one. That's point number one. That's exhibit A. If you want to get all true crime or crime thriller about it. Exhibit A. It came out 2 days before Christmas, or fucking 2 days before Halloween. Bada bing, bada boom. Case isn't closed just yet. Now, I am of the opinion, and I know for a fact I'm not the first person to say this, but I definitely agree with it. There are 2 spooky seasons during the year. The first, obviously, is Halloween. I say it officially starts September 1st, but I'll give you till September 15th, right? So you have till at least the very latest till September 15th until the week after Halloween. Because, you know, it's like in storytelling. You have your rising action and stuff, and then you have your climax, that's Halloween, and then you have your falling action as you wrap everything up. And that's what the week after Halloween is. It's your falling action. I know that there's a fancy word for it, but I can't remember what it is. My middle school teachers are screaming at me if they even listen to this shit or remember me. Because I remember learning it. I remember learning it in like 7th grade or something like that. But regardless, I digress. So yeah, week after. But then you have those few weeks until Thanksgiving. And that's kind of like a dead zone where things aren't spooky. But then the week after that, once December starts, you hit spooky season part 2, Electric Boogaloo. Standard, right? Standard joke. Had to do it, regardless. And that's how that works. That's just how that works. That's just how the seasons work. When it starts getting cold, it's spooky 90% of the time, except for that 2 or 3 weeks. So, what better way to spend your time building up to Thanksgiving or on Thanksgiving or just after Thanksgiving before December starts and everything is before you put the tree up, as you're putting the tree up, because you're getting ready. So it's not Christmas yet, but you're getting ready for it. So you're like putting the tree up and stuff like that. That's still Thanksgiving time, putting the tree up. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. What you do is you watch it then, so you have, during that dead zone, you have a little bit of extra life of the Halloween spooky season, and you get a little bit of extra, and then you get a little extra early Christmas time with a splash of spooky, which is going to be Exhibit C. That was Exhibit B. So that's Exhibit B right there. That dead zone between the 2 spooky seasons. That's the perfect time to watch it. What falls on there? Thanksgiving. So perfect. Exhibit B. Exhibit C. But Jacob, Christmas isn't about being spooky. It's about like being together and like family and Jesus and all that stuff and it's a happy, most wonderful time of the year. Like, it's not supposed to be spooky. Fucking wrong. So, let's back it up a little bit. Obviously, Halloween has been around in some form for ever, pretty much. You know, you got Samhain, and then you got All Hallows Eve, the veil is thinnest. Like, that whole idea has been around forever. But the modern idea of Halloween has not been around nearly as long as the modern idea of Christmas. The modern idea of Christmas, according to some people, was invented by Charles Dickens, who wrote A Christmas Carol. And A Christmas Carol kind of invented the modern idea of Christmas, the season of giving and all that jazz. And like being with people, helping people out, community, all that stuff. Like that angle of Christmas kind of comes from Charles Dickens. So I've read. Again, did not do any research, but I've seen that talked about, time and time again. So correct me if I'm wrong if you want, but at the end of the day, I don't really care. But you're more than welcome to correct me. I actually like it when people give me constructive criticism, so feel free. Anyway, I digress once again. Christmas Carol is a ghost story. It's a fucking ghost story, y'all. The main character, Scrooge, he talks to a ghost who takes him into the past, and then around town in a ghostly form, and then into the future. Like, that's a supernatural story. That's a spooky story. Why is that the most popular, I would say arguably the most popular Christmas story of all time? Like, it's got ghosts. How does that make any sense? Well, again, as I said, Halloween is newer. The idea that what we have in our minds of when we think of Halloween today in 2022, that, I think it was like, the 30s, 1930s or something like that. But Christmas, like, the Victorians were celebrating Christmas, like, back then, like, this time of the year. Like Saint Nick, like, that story goes back to even before the Victorian times and stuff. But that's when it all kind of culminated and stuff. And again, you have Charles Dickens in there, and he makes it a huge deal. But that time of the year was when people would tell spooky stories. They didn't do Halloween like how we think of it. Like, they just didn't do it. So they would tell their spooky stories during Christmas time. And they had been doing that for a very long time. So, I mean, it's like that song, the most wonderful time of the year. We'll tell scary ghost stories, because that is a United Kingdom thing from the Victorian times, give or take. Again, maybe I'm wrong specifically, but I know that's when that's like the heyday of like Christmas time equals spooky ghost stories. So if you take Exhibit B and Exhibit C, smash them together, it makes total sense, and it totally works. So let's just go over all the exhibits real quick. Exhibit A. Most people probably went and saw this movie during Thanksgiving time because it came out October 29th, 1993. And most people at least, probably were not seeing it right before Halloween. They were doing other Halloween type stuff. But they went and eventually saw it during the Thanksgiving time at the earliest. Most people. I would say the majority of people probably saw it during Thanksgiving. Some people probably waited till Christmas because, movies are out for months and months and months and stuff. Like, it's not just like a couple weekends or like a month or something. So most people probably saw it during Thanksgiving, closer to Christmas time. But it's a very spooky movie, obviously. So you have your Halloween side, and then you have your Christmas side as well. Then Exhibit B. Spooky season is not just October. It's before October and like September 15th at the latest, in my opinion. Everybody's different, but September 15th at the latest. And then it goes all the way until the first week of November. And that's spooky season 1. Then you have your dead zone. And then after Thanksgiving, as you get into December, you have spooky season 2. Because of Exhibit C. Exhibit C being that people in Old England, Victorian England, were telling ghost stories during this time of the year all the time. Like, that was the thing to do. Charles Dickens, the man who invented Christmas, there's literally a movie called The Man Who Invented Christmas that's about Charles Dickens writing A Christmas Carol and redefining what Christmas is, or was at the time and is now. So, those are my three main arguments, and I think they're all pretty fucking solid. You have your nostalgia factor for the people who saw it when they were kids, so they're probably going to be showing it to their kids now, if they have kids now, or they're rewatching it because that's when they first saw it, right? Back in, like, I'm guessing, probably, thinking, feeling, Thanksgiving time. And then you have that there's a dead zone between the two, and everybody tries to ignore Thanksgiving for some reason, even though Thanksgiving is awesome. And this helps liven it. So it's the perfect time to watch it, because you get your spooky on one side and your spooky but Christmassy on the other side. And it's perfect to get you to get ready to get all cozied up by the fireplace or gas logs or air vent where the heat is coming out, however people are cozying up these days now that we have modern technology and don't need fireplaces to stay warm specifically, because it's a thing that's been happening for a very long time, for 200 odd years. The telling spooky stories, spooky ghost stories at Christmas time, as defined and shown by the man who invented Christmas, Charles Dickens. What do y'all think? I think that's a pretty solid argument, I have to say. I know I keep saying it, but I mean, that's just really what it is. It's a solid fucking argument. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who are going to completely disagree and say it's definitely Halloween or it's definitely Christmas. But that's fine. You can have your opinion. This is just my opinion. Try it out next year. Try watching Nightmare Before Christmas around Thanksgiving, when you're wishing it was still spooky outside and you're looking forward to Christmas, but it's just too early to put up the Christmas tree, because that would be kind of weird doing it before Thanksgiving, don't you think? Can't be disrespecting Thanksgiving like that. I was gonna say Turkey Day, but I don't even like turkey, so don't be disrespecting Thanksgiving like that. But again, you can get that nice little taste of Halloween, one final little taste, and get you nice and revved up and ready to go for some Christmas time, most wonderful time of the year, quote unquote, cozy, warm feelings, because it's a musical, which also makes it a lot more fun and makes it a lot more lighthearted. So you can really watch it at any point during October, November, or December, and you're going to have a good time and you're going to feel good about it. But I think the optimal time is Thanksgiving, that 2-3 week period. Try it out next year and let me know. If anybody has any very strong opinions that they want to let me know about, feel free to message me on Instagram at Bad Movie Debate, all lowercase, all one word. Be sure to follow me on there. I don't know if I'm going to be doing my 31 for 31. I think I'm just not going to do it at this point. I've been busy. Again, I love horror, but it's hard to just watch horror 31 times in a row, you know? Even for me, which is saying a lot, because it is the best genre, or has the potential to be the best genre. But regardless, I digress. But follow me on there to keep posted about any upcoming news, like when the next episode's going to come out. I'll release it on there. I also recently saw Tyler. Y'all know Tyler. He's been on a couple times at this point, more than anybody else so far. So thank you, Tyler, for always being available to talk about movies way too extensively. But he made a good point. he said, last time I saw him in person, he said, maybe I should do my polls on Instagram about whether people think the movie is good or bad. He was saying maybe I should do that before I release the episode and then talk about it at the top instead of releasing the episode, doing the poll, and then mentioning it in the next episode. And he said, he's like, I think people might be like seeing what you're saying in the episode and then fucking with you and voting against you just to make you look bad. I said, damn, you really think people are doing that? And he said, yeah, of course I do, because that's exactly what I do. So I'm going to start putting up the polls before the episodes come out so people can give me their honest opinion and not just make me look like a moron. I can do that all by myself. Thank you very much. I do not need any help in that department. So we're going to put an end to that. Thank you, Tyler, for your great idea and your honesty. I appreciate it, as always. Again, that's Instagram polls on Instagram at Bad Movie Debate. All one word, all lowercase, and please be sure to follow on Spotify. Following me on Instagram is great, but following me on Spotify is even better. So be sure to put that finger on the little follow button. It's really easy. Whenever you go to listen to the next episode, just click it. It's right under there at the very top. There's also little stars right there. And you could give me 1 through 5. 5 preferably. 4s are okay. 3s are kind of whatever. 2s are okay. And 1s don't get a saying because they're garbage. So don't give me a 1. That's a community quote. If anybody has seen that Meow Meow Beans episode, please give me 5 Meow Meow Beans. Or whatever you think is appropriate. I don't care. Just review it because that's fun. But also be sure to follow. So thanks, guys. Let me know on Instagram what y'all think about my opinions of The Nightmare Before Christmas being a Thanksgiving movie, not a Halloween or a Christmas movie. I'm dying to know what y'all think. Until next time, stay sweet.